Okay. As this class is more of the revision class, firstly, if you have any doubts or any questions, then you can ask. Let me pin this message also.
I have a doubt in which command, which
Okay.
function.
Okay. Give me a minute. Whatever questions you can ask. Okay. Okay. Yes. In which command? What question you have? What is the question you have in which command exactly?
Ma'am, as getting the command, some in some questions, assignment 6, question 4, the answer is not matching because there are multiple outcomes.
Okay. So let's see this. Okay. So question 4 is this. No, this one is while.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So it,
Ma'am, actually, in the answer there is a 509 is present, but the answer is coming 464. Here,
but there is no which command here, right?
yes, yeah, while.
Oh,
Sorry, ma'am,
you.
while,
Okay, so you have issue in while loop, right?
while.
Okay. So what is given? X is equal to 22 while x less than 25, x is equal to x square minus 20, and if x is equal to 35, break and print x. Okay. So uh, what happens when x is 22? Okay. So it will be 22 square minus 20. Okay. And since it is equal to 35, it will not break and it will print x. Okay. So 22 square will be 484, I think, and then minus 20, so 464 should be the answer. So it is written that 464 is the answer. What is the problem? Can you tell me what is the problem? Like answer is written that answer is 464. Here is the solution, I think, separately. Okay. So if I will look at here, okay. So they have given solution like this. So answer is 464. Here also it is written answer is 464. I don't know why they have done this. here while loop runs until the value of y is less than 17. Additionally, the loop breaks off. So while x less than 25. Okay, so let us do that. Time x is equal to 22. Now by x less than 25 command x is equal to x square minus 20. Sorry, x equal to 35. Okay, see, you can see the answer 464 is written here, and here I don't know why they have given it like this, but uh, here it is given that the answer is 464. So answer is 464 because see the while loop how it works basically. So you need to let me just okay. So how it works basically, in while loop, what happens? You have given one value, and this is happen. And here it is not written that whether to increase x or not increase x or something like that. So while loop will run only one time. So while x less than 25, so x is less than 25. So x is equal to this, and since x is not equal to 35, it will break and it will print the x. I mean, but yeah,
Audible. Thank
if we will do some more questions from the loop so that it will be more clear. Okay. Okay. So if you have any other doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, I will start the class. And this is more like a revision, so I want you to include in this class more. Okay, so first one is that install and or installed. So when do you use install and when do you use installed? So if I want to install a package, which one I use? If I want to install a new package, which one I use?
Install dot packages.
Okay. And to see the packages already available in the R in this version, we use installed, right? So to see those packages, so this one is for to see the, let me change the theme of it. Okay. So installed one will be used to see already installed packages. Okay. Now RM. this one is used for?
And for to remove the uh,
Variable.
environment means
Yes.
X, Y.
Yes. So if you want to remove one variable, you can use x. If you want to remove two variable, you can use remove xy. If you want to remove all the variables, so if you want to remove all the variable, then you need to write list is equal to
List
this.
L is equal to LS
Yeah.
parenthesis.
Okay. So uh, that we can do. The next is, I think there is an example. Not here. Okay. So if x is a data vector and I write x greater than 5. So will it give the values of x or will it give the logical answers? So let me write. Let's say x is equal to c 4 3 9 1 12, and I'm writing x greater than 5. So, what will it give? Will it give me logical answers or will it give me values of x such that x greater than 5?
And it will give the values.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
there is a square bracket, and a square bracket always gives the value.
Yes. So, if I will write just this x greater than 5, then it will give me logical values which will be false, false, true, false, true. And if I will write x such that x greater than 5, then it will give me values of x which are greater than 5. So that will be 9 and 12. Okay. The next is when to use is dot numeric and when to use as dot numeric. So how it is different basically. Let us say, uh, if I will write x is equal to c 20, uh, L1 30. Okay, so is dot numeric x and as dot numeric x. What will be the answer of these two?
I mean, is dot numeric, it's a logical. So it will print the true, false, or true. And as dot numeric, it will change the data vector into a character. So we get the double quotes in 20, double quotes even, and double quotes in 30.
Okay, so since it is as dot numeric, so when it is as dot character, it will do what you have said, but when it is as dot numeric, it will do differently. So let me write it. Okay, so let me do this. X is equal to c 20 10 or whatever. Let's see this. Okay, if I will write is dot numeric x 1, so it will give me false. Why? Because it will give according to the total string. Okay, so even if I write just 20, then also it will be same because it will not give for the particular value. So that is one thing you need to remember. The second thing, as dot numeric x1, if I will write, then what it is saying that for 10, it is 10. For L1, it is unable to convert it in any numeric way, so it will write NA. For the 20, it will write 20. So warning messages are Na introduced in this. If I will write this, then you can see that when I have written it in this form, double quotes, then also s dot numeric is able to uh, take it out and find the numeric present in that. Okay, so s dot numeric will work like this. Now, similarly, if I will write is dot character, so if there is any character present, then it will say the whole string as a character one. So it is this whole string is character, so it is true. And if I will write as dot character x1, then it will write 10 as double quotes 10, L1 as double quotes L1, and 20 as double quotes 20. So now each one is behaving like a character, not as a numeric value. So that is the difference basically between is dot numeric and s dot numeric. So is dot numeric will basically give you about the whole one, like for the whole array, for the whole vector. If it is if any character present, it will give character as true and numeric as false. S dot numeric will try to find for each element, it will try to find the numeric value at that element, and similarly for the character one. So it can convert this numeric to character just by using the double quotes, but the character cannot be numeric by removing this. For here it can be done. So this is a difference between is dot numeric and s dot numeric. If you have any doubt, you can ask obviously. uh, I have basically, there are a lot of topics obviously from these many lectures, but I have just written because some topics which can be a little bit confusing, and for which if you will just go through, and I have gone through the whole one, so and I have made it so that, I mean, there can be a lot of other topics which are not covered here, but these are the topics I felt that can be important. Okay. So next one is integer division and modulo division. Okay. So if I'm doing it simply like 7 by 3, so it will give me the whole division like 3 7, so it will be 2 point, then 3 3, etc., etc. So if I will do this, and if I will do this, what will it give me? This one and this one.
First one it will give the 2, and the second one it will give the 1.
Okay. So this one is basically the sign of integer, and this one is basically modulo. So modular division gives you reminder, integer division gives you that question. So that are the signs for the division. Okay. The next one is that let us suppose that we have two vectors of length L1 greater than 1, L2 greater than 1, and uh, just copy it somewhere. Okay, so let's say you have L1 as C 13, 19, 20, and L2 as C 4, 3. Okay, so we have both have length greater than 1, and GCD of this L1 and L2. So L1 and L2 I have written basically as length. So let us take y1 and y2 be this, and L1 and L2 length of it are greater than 1. GCD of these length, so it is 3, it is 2, it is 1. Then on performing any mathematical operator on it, but what will it give? An error or a warning? So if I will write, let's say y1
And it will give the error. Oh, sorry, ma'am. Warning.
warning, so it will give me a warning. So it will still give you the answer. It's not like that it will not give you any answer. So uh, let me write it. Okay, so I will write y1 is equal to c 18, 17, y2 is equal to c 3, 4, then y1 plus y2. So it will give me the answer as 13 plus 3, 15 plus 4, and 17 plus 3. Okay, but it will give me a warning message also that length is not multiply of a shorter length. So you need to check that, because in general if we are doing this operation, then we don't know, like we need to check it, and then we need to see that if there is, because if it is a warning message, then you can continue working on that. It will just show you that it is the problem. If it is not a problem for you, then it is totally fine. But warning message is basically that so that you can check that if there is any issue with your command or something. Okay. The next thing is that in built-in function, mean, maximum, and minimum, which of these work differently? Okay. So that I have told you in the class also, and we need to see here also. Uh, Let me write. Uh, if I will write, if I will write minimum of 5, 6, 19, 13. If I will write minimum of C 5, 6, 19, 13. Uh, what will be, and similarly for the maximum, similarly for the minimum. Okay. So you can see that here I have not written C, here I have written C. Okay. So what do you think can be, like whether these are equal to, these are equal to, these are equal to. So whether there is equal to or there is not equal to sign.
Yeah. Equal to sign.
Okay, for minimum it is equal to, for maximum, or for all you are saying it is equal to. Okay, so let us see this example. Okay, so let me just write it. 5, 6, let's say 19, 13. So let me just copy this. Okay, so if I will write it, it is okay. Okay, so both minimum are same. If I will write maximum, then both are same. So here you can see that uh, for minimum it is same, for maximum it is same, but for mean it is not same. Okay. So no matter what the values you give inside, if it is not in the vector form, then mean will not give you the correct answer. Does not matter what you write. If I will write it like 19, 13, 12, then it will give me 19. It will always give me the first value if I will write mean without writing it inside the vector. So if you want to find the uh, mean, then you need to write the inside value as a vector. Okay. So you know that this one is equal, this one is equal, but this one is not equal. Okay. Uh, the next thing is that matrix. So if I have a matrix, so let us take some example from here only if it is given. Okay. Okay, so this one is given. So let me just take that matrix only. Okay. So you know this one is matrix. So by row, if I will write, then it will give me row wise. If I will not write, then by default value, if I will just remove this, let's say, then its by default value is column wise. Okay. Uh, okay. Now, if I want to access any of, if I will write 1, if I will write 1 comma 2, if I will write 2 comma 3. So all you need to do is that write the uh, row name and column name. So that one is the like how you can access the columns. Uh, the next one is that row and column wise mathematical operations. So if you want to do row wise operations, all you need to do is that uh, let's say I want to do row sums. So it is written row sums already. So row sums is that for row 1 it is 1, 2, 3. For the next one it is 11, 12, 13. So similarly for the column sums also you can write col sums. Okay. Uh, to find the inverse of a matrix, we need to write the solve. Now the solve here will not work because it is, you know, that 2 by 3 matrix, right? Uh, but if I will write m dat like 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. So what it is doing, it is that in the first row. So first, second row, and columns are 2 to 3. So second and third column. So first, second row, second, third column will be 2, 3, 12, 13. So now this is a 2 by 2 matrix, and for that I can take inverse. So if I will write this, then I can find the inverse. So uh, as you know, for 2 by 2 matrix, all you need to do is that uh, just for here, write 13 to, this is minus 3, minus 12, and then divide by the determinant of A. So Rather than solving it in pen paper, you can write solve to find the inverse. So this one is finding the inverse. Now, uh, to matrix multiplication, uh, for finding the matrix multiplication, the requirement is that if I have a matrix with dimension L1 times M1 and the other one is L2 times M2, and I want to do the matrix multiplication here, uh, then the M1 and L2 needs to be the same, right? So the symbol is this. So if I have and then the transpose of a matrix can be found by this, right? So if I will write that t, then it will give me 2 by 2. Why? Because m that was 2 by 3. This one is 2 by 3 and this one is 3 by 2. You can see here. So the first one was 2 by 3. This one is 3 by 2. So the dimension of the founded matrix would be, this is the requirement, and the dimension of multiplied matrix would be L1 times M2. The next question is, uh, if I will try to find the cross product of x, then will it give me x multiplied by transpose of x, or will it give me transpose of x multiplied by x?
Transpose of x multiplied by x.
Yes. Okay. Correct. So that you need to remember. And the cross product is basically we use because it saves the time if the matrix is very large. So here is the cross product. So here you can see it is 3 by 3. If I will write t, that, then also you will have the same. So it is, the cross product is this. Okay. Okay. So in R bind, so we know that for the matrix we use the R bind and C bind to combine the matrix. So in R bind, what needs to be the same? The number of columns or the number of rows?
The number of columns.
Okay. So how R bind works basically? So if you have a R bind and C bind, if you have two, and then we want to do that column wise. So R bind is sorry, R bind. Let's say if I will write matrices x y, then R bind means it will bind the row wise. So row wise means, let's say x1, x has two rows, x1, x2, and y has three rows y1, y2, y3. So for the R bind, what will happen that it will come as x1, x2, y1, y2, and y3. Now if x1, let's say, have two columns, L1 and L2. If y1 have more than two columns, it will not have the space to go anywhere, right? If it will have less columns, then there will be nothing remain inside, sorry, below the L2 one, right? So we cannot have less or higher number of columns. So the for R bind, the number of columns needs to be the same. Similarly, for the C bind XY, so what it will do for the X1, it will have L1, L2, let's say column, and it has M1, M2, M3 columns. Then it will combine it like this. But and let's say x1 and x2 with the number of rows. So if this one have more number of rows, then it has no place to go. So for C bind, the number of rows need to be same. So that is the reason behind it. So if you will even get confused like in that type of thing, then you can just check that what will happen if I will take the different number of rows and columns. Okay. Uh, the next thing is that missing data. So if you have missing data with you, let's say I have one Z and it is C 18, 35, 67, and A 78. So if I will try to find the mean of Z, then it will be NA. So to work with that, what I need to do is that I need to write NA dot RM is equal to true. So if I will write NA dot RM is equal to true, it will just RM is basically used to remove, and NA means the values which are not there. So NA dot RM means remove those NA values. So when it will remove those values, it will be like it will give you the correct answer. Uh, if I will write NA dot omit Z, then it will what it has done, it will the NA1 will be the removed one. It will say that NA dot action is taking place at the fourth position and the attribute of the class is omit. So if I will take the mean of this, it will again be the same. So there are two ways by which you can handle. So what you can do is that rather than writing NA dot RM is equal to true, because if you want, if let's say you have a big array and of 1,000 values, and you want to do again and again the calculation, you want to find the mean, standard deviation, or variance, or anything like that, then rather than finding it doing it again and again, that na dot rm true, what is best is that save z1 as na dot omit z, and then you can perform all the operations on z1 rather than writing it again and again. Okay, so that is one thing you can do. So there are two ways basically. uh, the next are loops. Okay, Okay, so loops we will see afterwards. Let me see. Okay, so this one is one of the example. Uh, so what will it give? I will if I will have this one and this one, and what will be the result of it? If I want to do C bind x comma y. So let us see that. If I will write x is equal to 1 to 10, y is equal to 11 to 20, I will write C bind x comma y. So it will give me, because it is giving, it will consider this as one vector and this as one vector. So for the C bind, it will combine the column wise. So it will be 10 rows and 2 columns. So it will be 10 by 2 matrix. So it is not like that you need to have both as a matrix. You can have just a data vector, and from that data vector you can uh, combine and make a matrix. So here the C bind is the matrix, but x and y are just data vectors. Right? Uh, okay. So okay, this one is which command we will see later. This one is if else. Okay, so we will see which command etc. later. Okay, so uh, now there is nested if else and there is if else test yes or no. So okay, so there is one example, two examples of nested if else also. I think yes. Okay, so we will see that how it is different. So firstly, if else and if else putting together. So even if you remove nested, so nested is basically uh, inside one loop inserting more and more loop. So if else is basically different from if else if I will do the, not give the space. Okay. So let me write. Let me just remove all those variables. Okay. So if I will write x is equal to 15, if I will write uh, if x, let's say, greater than uh, 20, then x is equal to x minus 10, else if x equal to 20, x is equal to x plus 10, else uh, x is equal to square. Okay. Unexpected is why it is written that. I will just write this. What is the problem? Should not come out of this, right? Should be. If x is equal to 12, this, else this. What I'm writing it wrong here. If x greater than this, otherwise, else x square this. Okay, let me see the command if I'm doing anything wrong here. I mean, if you know, you can tell. I don't know what is the problem. Check. Okay. Okay. So we need to do that. It will do completely. We need to start from there only. Okay. So x is changed. Okay. So if I will do this, if else, so else if x equal to 20, uh, then do this, else x is equal to x. Anything right there. So the x will be 150 because in the first one what happened is x has checked, x is greater than 20, it is not greater than 20, so it has moved. If it is 20, then it is not 20, and then it has checked again if x is equal to sorry, if else, like if it is not 20, if it is not greater than 20, that means it is less than 20, then it will be x is equal to x times 10, so it is x 150. Now if I will write, so that was nested if else. If I will write if else together, so in that time we need to do the testing. Okay, so testing is if else x greater than 20. So testing means if happens, test, then uh, do this, otherwise do that. So you can see that. Uh, okay, since x less than 20, so it will do this x is square, but x is changed already. Let me do this. X is equal to 50, right? But the important thing here is that if I will write x 11 to 15, if I will write x 11 to let's say 25, then it is not working because it is saying that error in if x greater than 20. If I will write this here, then it will work. So what is the main? So the main difference you can find in between these two, that uh, main difference is that here uh, the length of that vector needs to be 1. Here it can be more than 1, right? So if you are using if else, nested if else doesn't matter, it needs to be the 1. Okay, so it needs to be one vector, but for here you can work with multiple vectors. But then what what can happen is that for here you can test only one time, right? So you can test only one time. So you can give x greater than 20, x equal to 20, 30, whatever, whether it is divisible, etc., etc. But you can give only test, only one test. Or you can use the logical operators, but then also the total value will be one logical, whether it will be true or false, it doesn't matter, but you can test only one. If it is true, then you need to do that. If it is false, then you need to do that. You can not have multiple options that okay, if this doesn't happen, do this, if this doesn't happen, do this. Now since it is just can be used for one vector, it will not make a lot of use, okay, in that, because if you have data, you do not have the time. But what we can do is that we can use the for loop for that, right? So if uh, let's say I have now, let me write it here x1, so that it will not be so confusing. So if I will remove all, okay. Uh, so now you know x1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now length of x1. Okay. So what I can do is that for I in range 1 to length of x1. Okay. Now you can check that if xi greater than 20, then do x I is equal to x I minus 10 as if x I is I is uh, actually let us write this as x because I've written xi everywhere. Okay. Okay. So now the x. Uh, okay. So what you can see is that we can print here also. Just print x. So what happens when length of x? Okay. So what happens here is that let me just write it here. Okay. So if else command, if I will use more than one value of x, it will not run. But if I want to run it for more than one value, I can make use of for loop. So what I have given that similar here like okay. So what it is given that it in if else. Okay. So let me write all these, copy all these, and right there so that it will be more clear. Okay. So here you can see that we can give only one length vector. Okay. In here there is condition that length of vector. Here we can give one length vector, but conditions there is no restriction, right? No restriction. Here we can give on length there is no restriction, but on condition we can give only one condition that whether it will be true or false. Now if we want both, so we want to give the multiple condition and then we want to give the multiple length. So for that we can use for loop, right? So here we can give multiple conditions and here we can give multiple length vector also. So we can have both. So what it is doing when xi less than 20. So x is 11 up to 19. What it will do is that xi minus 10. Okay. In the last one, okay, when it is greater than, sorry. So when it is less than, so when it is less than, not greater than, not equal to, when it is less than, that means it will come here. So xi is xi plus 10. So 11 will become, let's say 11, 12, 13. So 11 will be 21. Uh, Now for the 20, uh, okay, I don't think it has worked properly because then x will be okay. Uh, So what is the problem? X is actually changed, right? So xi now become the 21. So xi is already itself changed, so now it will not work on that. So what we need to do is that if xi this, we need to save it in one new. uh so what we can do is that we can change it as yi yi and yi. So let's say y is equal to numeric. Okay. Uh, so for yi, for the first one, it worked properly when it has checked for the xi. Uh, for the next one, uh, when x is 1, so x1 greater than 20, so it was yi is 21. When x1, uh, now x1 will change. So for x2, so x2 is 12. So for this yi, okay. So if I take it as this, I think there is some issue, and then we need to append it rather than writing it like this. Yes. So there is some issue with the append. So we need to append, I think, in yi and then save it as a list, so that you need to check that how we can work with this. Okay. But then we can use the for loop for that. Okay. So there are some 2 3 questions on nested loop. So this one is this nested loop. So it is outer is equal to 0 for I in 1 to 2, and for j in 1 to 2, outer is equal to outer plus I plus j. So what will be the final value of outer? Uh, so if I will write, you need to remember that you need to check this part, because I don't remember exactly how do we say, but here you need to save it like this. Maybe append will work, that we append just yi values, uh, because it is not working in this form, numeric or this one. Okay, this is the length of x here, 15. I will write it numeric. Then also it is same, that it is given this 0 for all of this, and for the last one, the 15, when 25, it is giving 25 minus 10, so it is not working in between values. Okay, for the uh, when x is like less than 20, so it is doing that. Okay, 21. Then it is doing, so x is still less than 20, but then it is taking like this. What if I change this? I think there is some issue because it is working just for one yi or something. So how do we define yi? If I will remove, then why not found? Okay, so when it is less than 20, it is doing for first one, and then 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, it is remained, and for the last one it is doing that 25 plus 10. So basically it is working for the, is it working now? Okay, okay, I think let me do that again. Okay, so now it is working. So the problem was not in the saving, the problem was in range. So if I will write range 1 to 15, it is just writing 1 comma 15. If I will write 1 to this, it will give me this. So that was the problem. So it was just working for 1 and 15. Okay, so sometimes it may happen, so you need to make sure that you will not do this kind of mistake, because I was also unable to understand what I have done wrong. So when it is 1 to 15, otherwise I think you can give range as 1 comma 15. No, okay, so when it is a range we give differently, but you need to give this 1 comma 15. So that was the reason it was not working. So now it is working. Okay, so here we remove this. Okay, I will write it there. Then the answer will be now this. Okay, so how it worked? It worked basically for 11 it is less than 20, so it is 21. For 12 it is 22 up to 29. As soon as x is equal to 20, it will be 20 square 400. And after that, when x is greater than 20, it will be x1 minus, sorry, xi minus 10. So it will be 11, 12, 13, 14. For the 25, it is 15. So when we were writing the range of 1 comma 15, that was the problem. So range of 1 to 15 is just 1 or 15. So that was the reason it was not giving any values for 12 to sorry 2 to 14 up to index. And when I will write 1 to 15, just 1 to 15, then it will give me for the whole. Okay, so that was like a loop. For this one is basically for loop nested with if else, sorry, if else if. So that is the way you can use the multiple indexing and then multiple uh, conditions also. Okay, the next one, we were trying to do some question. So here it is just nested for loop, so we can do it actually here also. So what is given? Outer is 0. So for I in 1 to 2, and for j in 1 to 2, uh, outer is equal to outer plus I plus j. So what I have said that how for loop works basically. So uh, once I have done, like for I is equal to 1. So once I is equal to 1, then it will work with the whole inside loop. So what will happen? Outer will be, when j is 1, it will be 1, sorry, outer is 0, it will be 0 1 plus 1. So now outer is 2. Now j is 2. Okay, so that time outer is 2, j is 2, I is still 1. So outer will become 5, right? uh, the next happens. So for I is equal to 1, everything done. Now I will become 2. I will become 2, then what will happen? It will be j is 1 firstly. So I is 2, j is 1, outer is 5. So new outer will be 5 plus 2 plus 1. So it will be 8. Next will be I is equal to 2, j is equal to 2, outer is equal to 8, right? So new outer will be 8 plus 2 plus 2, it will be 12. So 12 will be the answer. So here it is. This one would be the answer. So if you have any confusion in this, you can ask in for loop, nested for loop. Okay, so if there is no confusion, we can do this one time. So nested if else is that this one is just for 1, you can see. So x is equal to 8. Firstly, check if x is divisible by 2. So if x is divisible by 2, then check if x is greater than equal to 10. Then assign 200, otherwise assign 100. So we know that x is 8, it is divisible by 2, and then since it is less than 10, that will assign the answer 100. Okay. So we have done this nested if else. We have done for loop also. Uh, Now the switch and which. Okay. So switch, what switch does is basically, so there is no need for that. So switch basically, uh, let's say you have a long list or log, like values of a data frame, and you want to find one particular thing. So if I will write 3, and I will just give 3 values, then it will give me the third value regarding the index. If I will write, let's say, as I have told you in that time also, like if you have the data of students, or let's say if you have the data of academic teachers, so let's say, uh, I will write it here, maths. Okay, and I have the data for all the maths teachers, I have the data for all the physics teachers, I have the data for all the uh, like every academics. If I will write the switch math, it will find the teachers of mathematics only. So that is the thing switch does. Now which is basically, give you index. Okay, so if I will write, uh, let's say here, so here now x is different. So if I will write which x greater than 20. Okay, sorry. Which is not a logical operator. Okay, okay, so
Let me use parenthesis.
I have used parentheses, I think. Then also it doesn't work. Okay, we can see there's some examples. Like I have given which, okay, x such that x greater than 20. Then also it is saying that it is not logical. If I will find this, it will give me the value, so it should give me where it is greater than 20, right? So okay, so
And if we write which parenthesis, then x will greater than 20, then it will return the value, well, it will return the position.
what I need to give inside?
We get the position when we use the parenthesis under which we write the x is greater than 20 or 25, then we get the position.
If I will just write x greater than 20 like this, yeah, okay, right. So what are the x such that x greater than 20? I thought that one was the logical one. Okay, so what are the x such that x greater than 20? So now I have these values for which x greater than 20, and these values for which x is not greater than 20. So it will give me those values. So which are basically for finding the index for which it is greater than 20. Okay, so we have some things, I think. C bind is done. Okay. Here also it is written the same, that which x greater than 10. So the first one is not, second one and fourth one are
See,
the index. Yes. C1 will become. Uh, okay. It is if else. So what will be the answer? This one is for the testing, right? So it wants to test. If it is true, it will be 0. If it is false, it will be x.
C 3508.
Yes. So this is like one of the thing you can use to this is one of the thing you can use to uh, replace this Na by 0 or by mean of other or etc, right? So okay, so this is like one of the way to replace the Na values. Okay. Okay, this one we have done, this one we have done, and then this one. This one is just modulo.
C 011.
Okay, so when it will be 2 by 1, it will be 0. When it will be 4, 3, it will be 1. And when it will be 4 by 5, it will be 1. Sorry. Okay, the next one is
Uh, It will be null.
it will be
D, because
yes,
no nothing will satisfy. So
yes.
null.
Okay, okay. So I think those were the questions only. Okay, okay. So we have done this constructing functions. So how we can construct a function? So it is basically that you need to give let's say I want to make a function for you can write a function for let's say I'm writing r and then I'm writing function of x y z and I'm writing that return x q plus y q plus z cube to the power 1 by 2. Okay. And if I will write r, here only I can write. I will write r 2, 3, 5. Sorry, return. No. Okay, so R is basically I have seen like the radius of a sphere. So you can have x cube plus y cube plus z cube to the power half. So it will, if I will write R 2, 3, 5. So you need to give the function value here and it will just calculate all the inside things. So that is like where like you can construct the functions like with a lot of conditions that if here also you can use make use of if else that if let's say x is greater than 10 then I do not want to cube it, I want to square it. So then you can check that if this, then return this, if this, return this. So you can insert the multiple number of functions inside it. So that is the way of constructing function, like according to the need. So basic, like the main thing was that. Okay. The next one is sequence of dates. So we can see that the sequence, if you will write simple, so sequence we need to give the from to, and then you can give like by, whether it want to do by like by 1 by 2 1 by 3 etc, and from to needs to be the different, otherwise it will give you like nothing. So it is just the example. So here you can see that it is, if I will give 1 9, then you need to give the by. If I will just write length dot out, then I do not need to write this by, because it will divide it according to the length. So we do not need to give the by that time. Okay. Uh, so you can write it in the forward direction, in the backward direction, in any direction it is needed. Okay. The sequence of dates is you need to write as the date, and then you need to give the uh, dates. So sequence, need to write it here. Okay. So sequence of date also, here is the example. So sequence you can write as dot date, you can give, and then you can give by years, by quarters, by months, by days, by weeks, anything. So it will uh, give you this. So if I will just copy this, then it will give me this. So it is too long. Let me just give it like 19 uh, 89. Okay. So we can work with other also. So if I will give months, it will give me months wise. If I will write just 1998. Okay. If I will give weeks, then it will give me week wise also. 1, 8, 15, 22, 29, etc. etc. So it will start from here, and then it will end up to like the possible one. Okay, because it cannot go further that, right? So it will give regarding this. So we have the sequence of dates etc. Now in repeat command, if we execute each and times together. So let's say I will write repeat. Okay, and if I will write times, sorry, sorry, sorry. Okay. So if I will write each and times, then you can see that firstly it has done each and then times. Now if I will do it like, firstly I will give times and then each. Then also the answer will remain same. So it doesn't matter whether you will give each times or times each. It will always do the each firstly and then times. Okay. So here is each is the answer. So each will execute first and then times will execute later. Okay. The next one is that sorting. So sorting is basically very simple. I think the X we have. So if I will write just sort X, then it will write it increasing order by default. If I will give it decreasing equal to true, then it will give me this. If I will write order X, okay. So order X will this. If I will just let me write this X firstly. Okay, so X is this, and the order it is giving like this. So how it is giving? Similarly, like in if you will not give decreasing, uh, then it will give it like this only. If I will write decreasing equal to true, then it will give me this. If I will write decreasing equal to false, then it will give me like this. So in general, it is in the decreasing. Okay. So in general, the order is given in the decreasing. So the 1400, this one is first, I think. No. If I will write order X and decreasing equal to true. So it has given me the in increasing one. Okay. So the X is this. Okay. Uh, so this one is 1, this one will be 2, 3, 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This one is the, since decreasing equal to true is given. So 1400 will be the first one. Now 10, and then this one will be 11, this one will be 12, this one will be 13, 14, and since the 11 is the minimum one, it will have this 15, right? So this one is how order works. Okay. So this one was sort order, uh, the list and the factor. So factor basically what, okay, so list, I think we know that we can give inside the list, we can give multiple. So first one can be the array, and then we can insert it like the second one, we can insert it like uh, an array, a matrix, or etc etc, and then we can make it. So I will not do this here, and I will do, let's say, that. Okay, so we have that, and then we have x. So list can be like made of any 2. So list is like, for the first one it is matrix, for the second one it is a vector. It can be more like, it can be a character, it can be a character string, it can be a lot of things. So list is basically you can uh, merge a lot of numbers, and then there is no restriction, because if you work with a data frame, then you need to have the same number of rows, or so that it can merge in that way. But in the list there is no restriction. All you need to do is that save for the first one, for the second one, etc., etc. So this one is basically list, and this is how you can combine two lists also. So if you have, like, this one is the matrix, this one is the vector. If you have both the list, then also you can combine just by taking list L1 comma L2. Okay. The factor is basically factor divides in that form. So if I will write factor, sorry, factor of C, 1 2 3 4 1 2 1 1. If I will write this, then what it does is that it just divide into the levels. So levels mean it is basic. It will basically divide it into the unique values. So levels will give you the unique values. Now in that unique values, what you can do is that, let's say if you have a population, and you want to, or in a college you want to find the number of female employees, you want to find the number of male employees, then you can just give them the sex fm, and then it will do the factor in that form. So factor can be used in those times. The next is that find and substitute in a string. So substitute, if you want to substitute one particular part in a string, then you can use sub. If you want to uh, just do it for everywhere wherever this came, then you can use g sub. So g sub is for uh, G sub, you can understand it for global substitution, okay, and sub is just for substitute in one or the first string, okay. And similarly, the G rep is try to find uh, in the string. That means the find is for G rep and substitute is by done by substitutes. And if you want to find the logical one, you can use G rep L. The next one is data frame to combine and merge. Uh, so for the matrix, we have seen we can do R bind, C bind. For the list, we can do just by list. For the data frame, you have three options. Okay, the first one is R bind, second one is C bind, last one is merge. Right. So in the C bind, you do column wise. Right. In the C bind, you do column wise merge. So for the column wise, if you have a data frame which have x1 and x2, and if you have a data frame, let's say x3, x4, x5 rows, then you can combine it like this, right? When we have seen the matrix in the R, and you have the restriction for rows. When we have seen the matrix, we have seen that in R bind, if I have y1, y2, and here it is z1, z2, z3. So the number of rows can be different, but in the matrix, the only restriction was that the number of columns needs to be same. Here, there is one more restriction. What is the restriction? The restriction is that uh, if I will define, because in the data frame we give the vectors, so if I will define that it is the row for state 1 and this one is for state 2. So for the below also you need to have the state 1, state 2. Okay. In the C bind column wise for the data frame when we define, so let's say you have a data frame where you have like uh, states as, let's say, UP, MP, HP, okay, etc. etc. If you have these states and then it will be like UP and HP, right? But here there are just indexing. So here it doesn't matter. So for the column wise, there is no restriction on here because we do not generally give the names here. So if you will go to the previous classes where I have done this, so you will remember in better way. This one is list. This one is formatting. This one is string data frame. Okay, so here nodes, string subsets, merge. Okay. So here I have written that for C bind the number of rows needs to be same, but for the R bind number of columns should be same. And the second thing is that number name of the columns should be the same also. Name of the column should be the same. For the merge, we need to have one common column because if you have uh, let's say was 2, okay, and the second one have 1 2 3. So if I want to do the merging by the first column, then these two needs to be the same. If these two needs to be the same, then in the let's say I will write it as 1, or let's say as, if I will write as V1, V2 is needs to be V1, W1, W2, then the merging one will be V1, V2, W1, W2. Okay, so it can be used. Let's say you have a name of students, and right now you only know about the let's say whether they are male or female. Now you have more information. Their 10 percentage, 12, sorry, their 10 percentage, 12 percentage, etc. etc. Then you can use the merging by the name of students. So for the data frame, you have three: C bind, R bind, and then okay. In the last this one, like descriptive statistics, you know that we can do the summary, and we can make use the summary mainly, and then you can find basically the mean, variance, etc. etc. Mean, median, mode, variance in descriptive statistics. And in the last one, it is graphics. So graphics are basically for the plotting. So we can, if we, as I have told you before, whenever you do bar plot, uh, pie chart of just an array, then we take in general the table of it. Okay, table of it when it is a uh, frequency table we have. Okay, so if if we have frequency table, let's say if x is an array where 1 is 1 2 3 5, let's say these four numbers we have, x is repeated 10 times, this one is 20, this one is 10, this one is 15. So then we take the bar plot and we take the pi table, because otherwise what will happen, for it will be like 1 1 1 1 2 2 2 2 3 3 3 5 5 5, which is not a answer. Okay, and then pi, uh, also the same. Then histogram. So when do we use histogram? So basically when we have the discrete data, then we find the frequency table, as you have learned in the basic statistics also. We make the frequency table in by x values, and when we have the continuous data, then what we will do, we divide it into the class intervals, right? So if you have the values like 10, 10.2, 10.9, 13, okay, and 14.5, etc., etc. If you have values like this, then if you will make bar plot, so bar plot of table, even if you will make, then there is no value which is repeating, all the values are different. But then we take the class intervals. So I can take in 10 to 15, there are 14 values. In 15 to 20, there are 19 values. So in that way, I can make this class interval. So for that, for continuous data, we use the histogram. For discrete data, we use the bar plot. So this one was regarding the graphics. Uh, so these are all like we can cover in this class. So uh, this is the last class so far. So okay, so that's it. If you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, all the best for your exam, and thank you. When you are having the exam,
I'm on 3rd November.
third number. Okay, so still you have good time. So go through all this and see what are the confusing parts. Okay.
So, is this the last class of our software?
Yeah, this is the last class of our software. There will be no more classes.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a
Okay,
great learning experience with you.
thank you. And for me
Thank
also, it's very great because like because you people respond, right? So it doesn't matter. Uh, okay, at the end, like how many join, if even if one person respond, then for me it's very good. Okay, so all the best. And okay, so just give your exam. And what I want to say is that just from my experience, if it like if it is lengthy paper, I hope it will not be. But even if it is, then do not make hurry and then just do this, because I have learned this that a lot sometimes, that in the hurry what we do is that we want to attempt 10 questions and then we do most of it wrong. So even if you do 5 questions, then make sure that 4 of them needs to be the right, okay, from your side. So okay, okay, thank you. I'm ending the class.
Thank you, ma'am.